This one's a doozy. And by the way, spoiler alert. If you haven't seen the movie, Leave the World Behind, don't watch this because we're going to talk about the freaking movie and we're going to dive deep. Anyway, so did you see it yet?
I got about 2/3 of the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rob?
I have not.
You have not? Taylor? Brandon?
I stayed
You
before
did.
to watch
Okay,
it,
well,
yep.
spoiler. So that's perfect because now we're going to have a little 2/3, haven't. So me and Brandon will screw you guys. So
Yep.
the movie, it starred Julia Roberts, Mahershala Ali, Ethan Hawke. The film is basically about a cyber attack by hackers on America. It's really apocalyptic. It's about a family whose getaway. So Julia Roberts and Ethan Hawke, they go on this like Airbnb at this nice house, and they're there with their 2 kids, and it's luxurious rental. And then a cyber attack happens, knocks out everybody's devices, all the Wi-Fi's done, and then Mahershala Ali and his daughter show up because it's their house, and they're like, "Hey, we want to stay here. We had, problems with our car," and they asked if they could stay. And then Julia Roberts is reluctant, but Ethan Hawke is like he's the human. He's like, it's his house. Give us 50% discount. You guys can stay. And then all this weird stuff starts happening. Like a signal gets sent. Well, first of all, deer and like wildlife just start showing up, and they're just standing there, and like that's already a sign of like, I'm leaving.
That's so interesting. Like animals, they say have a tense. They have like
Animals
a way
they
to
know
know.
what's up. Yeah, by the way,
for sure.
That's what they actually say. If elephants, when there's a tsunami, an elephant, because of their ears and I don't know, they turn and they start running inward fast. So if you ever see an elephant running, follow that bitch. That's what I'm saying. Okay, and then a bunch of drones or drone-like aircraft started dropping. They were drones, right? Big drones started dropping like these red snake photos that said in Arabic, "Death to America" on one side, and then on the other side they were getting reports from other people that
other states,
where other states had Chinese propaganda, some had Korean propaganda, and then come to find out this was an all-out attack, and they did use a 3-stage maneuver. They used isolation, where they disabled all communication and transportation, making people deaf, dumb, and paralyzed. Synchronized chaos, which they terrorized with covert attacks and disinformation.
And the noise thing.
With no clear enemy. And then they shot this, would you call it?
Frequency.
A frequency that was so loud, you had to cover your ears or else your ears would explode.
Yeah.
And then you're crippled, you're on the ground.
Teeth falling out.
And it made the sun's
teeth
start falling out. By the way, this is all possible. Are you right? Is this scaring you guys over there?
We use this all the time on the South America.
We use it on South America. This is all shit that we have, technology that we have. And then at the end of the movie, shit's blowing up, the White House is attacked, and everybody's in his bucket. And by the way, I'm watching this, and I Googled it. Guess who the executive producers of the movie are?
Tell us.
Barack and Michelle Obama. Isn't that
Red flag.
Wait, hold on. Kind of weird, Rob, if you think about it in the scheme of what you're doing. You're making, dude, how rich are the Obamas? 500 million?
They're not hurting.
Pre-White House, they weren't rich. Post-White House, like 20 mil.
I think it's way more than 20 million.
Yeah.
Weird how Trump's the only one who lost net worth after taking the office of presidency.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody else went from, I got like $1 million in the bank to having 40 million. Trump went from having 3.2 billion down to 2.7 billion.
Yeah.
And they make fun of him for it. It's like, hey, he still got $1 billion.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. So I'm watching. I'm asking myself, why would an ex-president and his wife do something like this? But anyway, well, Barack played a key role in the movie and influenced the most critical parts. According to the writer Sam Ismail, Obama thought the script was fairly close to how a crisis would actually pan out in the real world and gave feedback. Like he basically was like, try this. This is how it works. It's all weird. Then in an interview in Vanity Fair, the director reflected on what it was like to receive feedback from Obama. He's like, I'm writing this thing as fiction. For the most part, I'm trying to keep it as true as possible, but I'm exaggerating and dramatizing. He goes, and to hear an ex-president say you're off by a few details, meaning he knows how this whole plan would plan out. He goes, I thought I was off by a lot. The fact that he said that scared the F out of me. Also, Obama got some backlash for warning in the movie about white people. There's a scene where Mahershala Ali's in bed with his daughter because they have to stay in the basement. And the daughter goes, I'm asking you to remember that if the world falls apart, trust should not be doled easily to anyone, especially white people. Even mom would agree with that. So like, nice
And then
little-
the dad
But-
co-signs for it.
the that obviously
By the
goes-
way, that like stuck out like a sore thumb too. Like it fit nowhere in the movie. Like pre that scene and post that scene.
Well, I was going to ask, like, is the movie based on, like, racial tensions?
No, but they do. Hold on, it does, Brandon, with that type of stuff, and the white, mom was kind of thrown off about them showing up. It does have, like,
You think it was racial or stranger though?
Well, they do it in a very
Subtle.
innocuous way, like a very subtle way.
Except
where
for
like,
that part.
well,
But that part's in your
it's-
face saying, don't. That's one of the main messages from a black female saying, Dad, not to trust white people ever when shit like this happens. Even mom would agree. A black lady that wasn't even there.
Yeah, and you can't make the argument that the Obamas didn't know that was in the film because their production company, like you
He's
said,
executive
Higher
producer.
Ground Productions.
Grounds.
It's their second film that they've released this year. If you're the president of the United States, I would, or a former president of the United States, I would.
Hold
think
on, he might still be the president
But
of the United States with Joe Biden. But go
I
ahead.
would think that you would at least go over and watch the movie and see that and go, hey, that's going to make me look bad in the long run. We should probably cut that. So it's very intentional that is left in the movie.
Well, Rob, you're going to the screening of the movie. I'm talking about the script. Obama goes through the entire executive producers. I know this. They have to read it all, table read. Everybody's there. They heard that and they were like, They probably laughed and they said, keep that. Also, and I know people are gonna talk crap, and I don't give a damn because it's there. There were subliminal messages throughout the movie. There's a poster. Kelly, can you show the poster of the movie? The word ball. You just had it. If you see that circled where all the names are, BAAL. Okay, for you guys who don't know, ball is the name given to several different deities who are designated as false gods or idols. Baal is associated with Beelzebub, demons, and the devil. There's also a scene, and people are always like, you're reaching. I didn't find this. Somebody posted this picture. There's a scene where you just pause it, and the clock, the brother, there's two clocks. I don't know why there's two clocks. One has a 6 showing, one has a 6 showing, and then there's a 76ers mug showing. They all have 666 on it. And then the kids, Kelly, can you show the kids are wearing Obey shirts? Obey NASA shirts. It's all subliminal, bro. It's all subliminal. And this movie has predictive programming written all over. All right. We saw, all of us have seen, I'm pretty sure you have too, Chris. We saw the Iranian lawmakers chanting death to America, all right? You see Tucker Carlson, he has a show talking about the EMT attacks in the United States if we went to war with Iran, which it looks like we're getting slowly closer to that. And then you have Klaus Schwab, my favorite World Economic Forum speaker. He predicted that there would be a cyber pandemic. All right. He said the COVID-19 crisis would be a small disturbance when he talks about in the scheme of things. And Kelly show the video of my favorite guy with my favorite accent, which doesn't scare me when he talks about shit like this. Can we rewind it and play with the volume? Can you go back and play the beginning with the volume, please? Put it up so we can hear it.
Pay insufficient attention to the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack, which would bring to a complete halt to the power supply, transportation, hospital services, our society as a whole. The COVID-19 crisis would be seen in this respect as a small disturbance in comparison to a major cyber
attack. But mind you guys, so I've been trying to figure out what the next thing is going to be, right? So that's, by the way, predictive programming. They're letting you know. Just like the movie Contagion came out before COVID-19, which was the same thing. A girl went to Hong Kong, got the virus, came back, gave it to everybody. So I was going deep. Me and Brandon talked about this. I believe was it last Friday? We kind of hinted towards it, but the elite always tell you exactly what they're going to do, exactly what's coming down the pike. They tell us through movies, through music. They tell you what they're going to do. It's called, and you guys can Google this, revelation of the method, okay? They do this to avoid bad karma. Brandon, you told me about this, so I looked it up. They put their true intentions out there so nobody could accuse them of not warning us of things to come. Like, who would have thought that evil people have moral and ethics? And Brandon, I want you to touch on that. Like, what What is the gist? Because we see this happen all the time. Rob even talked about it. There was a book called.
No, it was a pilot. So remember the X-Files? They did a spin-off show. On the X-Files, there was a group of guys that would give Mulder and Scully the information that they would then go and track down, right? So there were like these 3 nerds, and they were called the Lone Gunmen. That was the name of their group. They then produced a spin-off series of the X-Files featuring those 3 nerds. It was called The Lone Gunman, and the first episode was a pilot episode in which a 747 airliner was hijacked via a computer system, and they were going to fly the plane in to the World Trade Center, but luckily the pilot was able to maneuver and take control of the plane before it hit the building and then flew it out of the way. But that aired in March of 2011 or 2001, so that was 9 months before 9/11.